sisters, generals, welcome to another EBX and Lord Lamont show, where I always say, where I sometimes have a EBX discussion, and welcome to another edition of EBX discussion and/or father and son discussion with Lord Lamont. And thank those that's been riding along with the brother. Remember, we're leaders and teachers. We are not no damn followers. With a student spirit and current subscriber, new subscriber, anybody that view, I salute you and thank you. No, may that great divine just be in our life, our family's life, children, brothers and sisters in the world, online, and keep us prospering and keeping us strong. I don't care how many times I got to do that. We got to be consistent with that great divine, because great divine and mama nature is in our life all the freaking time. So we got to acknowledge those two forces. And some parts of our life, if we're aware and we're not bogged down in this human flesh that I've been on here lately, we'll see synchronicity, signs, deja vu, dreams. Focus on things like that, because that all connects into that inner divine spirit deep within, because it's beautiful when one finally taps into that inner divine spirit. And anyone can have this power if they're able to. Sometimes it's things that people have in their life they can't control, but if you have control, be thankful. If you have a inkling of control, grow from that, and so we can be ready for and have a graceful future, as graceful as possible. But as I say many times, positive energy is free. Negative energy can cost you, even subtle. We have to be accountable for ourselves if we're healthy, mind, body, and soul. Because like our ancestors did, I will always and forever honor thy ancestors, and that's not in my description for nothing. I put that in there for a reason. Always and forever will honor thy ancestors, man. Those who fought so freaking hard, through tooth and nail, before all this social media crap. Brother and sister, that was a general. All they had was mama nature and their divine spirit. And that's where a lot of us are thinking, those who are aware. My generals out there, salute, fellow spell breakers. A lot of us have gotten to that space that have that tough thinking, that let nothing on the outside stop that divine flame that we have developed over the years, like our ancestors. Man, I thank them. And far and near, those who before civilization that actually heard God speak. It was a time, in my theory and their opinion, where mama nature and that great divine was magnified. But over the years, of course, like I said in the past, it's like that inner divine voice kind of dwindled away over the years, so to speak. But now we got to tap into that inner, and again, that's just a theory, but it takes work, practice, focus, paying attention, and one could never be too aware, because that's how we come across knowledge, even if and don't think we're right all the time, but we learn and keep it moving, keep this momentum strong, because one thing we'll learn, and what got many of our ancestors, and for them to fight to get us to where we are, is that they knew that they had a soul for a reason, which is the title. We have a soul for a reason, brothers and sisters. That's why it's crazy to me. When we learn, if we at a place of awareness, I always say age or a level of awareness, when we know better, we should know that, treat our soul like, man, like they say, live like it's the last day, so to speak, but not worry or nothing like that. But that's how we got to think of our soul. It's nothing to play with. It really isn't. I don't give a fuck about no AI, none of this shit, because AI doesn't have a soul. The difference between an AI and a human, we can rationalize. A robot doesn't have a soul. It can't rationalize. It's numbers, it's clockwork, it's preciseness, but it can't rationalize. And when it fricassee out, then what? Because as I said before, AI always fricassee out, and it always have to be updated, and it's very expensive. I work on at my job, again, like I said, I'm a cook / chef, and POS system always breaking down, always got to be updated. So I would never put my energy or rely on no fucking AI. The only AI I will rely on is ancestral intelligence. Thank you, Professor Griff. He the one came up. I heard that from. Salute. And I'm telling you, nothing is more powerful than the mind. something we all need to remember. Robots came from us. So just ponder that. That's how powerful the mind is. So, because one thing, again, that can't be compared to a human is a soul. Robot does not have a soul. No feelings, none of that shit. So, but a person, our energy alone can change a planet, can change a world. That's how powerful the human mind can be. The world stemmed from a human mind, a melanated mind, that is, because that's where it all began, right? So yeah, so we have a soul for a reason. And solitude is a divine gift. That's another thing that's not to be taken for granted. I speak on it a lot of us do, brothers and sisters, but solitude can be a beautiful thing. Gives us time to think, assess things, get back on course, and stay vigilant and focused in the mix of joy and having fun. I always reiterate that every now and then. That's kind of a reminder for my own self. Don't forget to have fun too. But when it's time to stand on business, we got to be ready for that too. Especially in these times and this complex world that we're living in and coming into, and guide the youth the best way one can. And don't have time for nonsense and petty bullshit, especially if you pass them 40s. If we're healthy, mind, body, and soul, we don't know now, we'll never know. I say that from time to time. But it's beautiful to come into a place of knowledge and knowing things and being aware and missing toxic things that can come our way from person, place, thing, and we have a soul for a reason, brothers and sisters. And Great Divine gave all of us, I don't mean some of us, all of us, a divine ability and or skill or purpose. But that force and Mama Nature left it up to us to figure out what that purpose is. Whether it could be a small purpose, or it could be through a platform, but it have to be through authentic means, of course, or it just backfire. We can live on a false sense of reality. Danger. All we want, it's just gonna backfire. You're not fooling we're not fooling anyone but ourselves. So being as real as we possibly can, even when it's not easy, it always feels better when one is honest as possible, at least with perfect intentions, and you look back and say, wow, I always say, I'm glad we didn't do this, glad we didn't do that. That's a wonderful space to be in and keep forging forward as generals do. Brother, sister, family. Now, of course, I got some news, I got some salutes. Of course, I got 4 spellbreaker statements, and there will be a hip-hop break. Y'all know I always have a hip-hop break. And got some positive news, some hip-hop news. I'm always speaking on hip-hop. And I got some RIP news, some rest in peace and power. I'm always honoring thy ancestors, as well as those in my own family, my biological family. Rest in peace and empower those we held dear. We keep their spirit alive. Real talk. Because we're all going to be ancestors one day. So ponder that. But I wanted to speak on, speaking on, we have a soul for a reason. And I'm telling you, like, helping someone or saving someone's life can catapult us and really make us appreciate life. So I want to give an example about how important our soul is, and we shouldn't take it for granted, and why we have it for a reason. And I will get into a little bit of solitude is a divine gift. It really is, because not everybody's able to do it. It's easier said than done. All right, I want to give a salute to T.I. I've spoke on T.I. from time to time, as well as my son and I. Whenever we have a hip-hop, heavy hip-hop hitters, what I call it, hip-hop, I think it's hip-hop, it's heavy hitters, hip-hop heavy hitters, something like that. I've done a lot of them where I give artists tributes, and I've spoke on T.I. many occasions, and many artists. As I said, my favorite artist is Tech Nine. If I had to start out a list, it'd be Tech Nine, Hobson, let me see who else. Who else? I like Exhibit. I was just listening to Exhibit recently. I love Exhibit Spirit. Great brother. A lot of the underground artists, I like the mainstream too, like T.I. and so on and so forth. But I also like my underground brothers. I like E40. There's a lot of them, Any artist you don't hear me or my son talk about don't mean we don't like them. We've talked about so many artists. If you go on our channel and go down through the hip hop heavy hitters and R&B, because I love R&B too. Jamaican, African, classical music. We spoke on these things before. I like all kinds. Jazz, I love jazz. Blues, old school music. I'm talking about back in the 70s through the 80s. All the music through that, from the 70s, even from the later part of the 60s, all the way through up until now. I love all the music within that era, as well as classical music and maybe a little soft rock with beat to it, but not that heavy metal shit. I really don't do country, as I said, but I understand it. I like the lyrics of country, because it all stemmed from melanated people anyway. Of course, African. I love African music, as I said, Jamaican. Because in order to really kind of understand music, it's good to be educated a little bit about all kind of genres, so we can kind of get a better understanding of it. Like my son Ethan, salute, who plays the instrument, the French horn. So it's just, and he's learning how to write music, which is dope. And so I think I'm a kind of see if I can learn through my son how to write music, because I never learned. I know how to write rhymes, but I've never learned how to write music. So that's something Ethan's learning, and it's beautiful. He's flourishing, as well as the rest of one's children, divine and biological. Just be thankful for our youth out there that is aware, and have good intuition. May that great divine protect them. Young brother, young sister, real talk. But let's get back to T.I. Salute to T.I. I was listening to a segment about T.I. yesterday, and they said he used to read books for fun. He used to read business books, negotiation books, and stuff like that. And same thing with Tupac. I don't know, some people may know or not know, Tupac read a lot of books. That's why if you listen to the lyrics, see, reading and seeking knowledge and stuff like that, it plays a very important part in our lyrics, in our music. How we think always matters in our music, because I like to say music is like emotion. You have when you're sad, or you're happy, or you're disappointed about something, or you're just telling a story. It's wonderful. That's why I love music overall, but hip hop, as you know, is my first love. But salute to T.I., who also has a restaurant, a seafood place in Atlanta. He also does his comedy thing. So he got his hands in different things, and I think that's wonderful. And he does have some heartfelt stories. Many people probably know he helped a guy down off a roof that was going to take himself out, and he talked the guy off the roof, which is dope. And there was another story I remember telling my son, Lord Lamont. He pulled a individual out of a burning car. I remember hearing that years ago. But salute to T.I. And that's a brother that don't take his soul for granted. And I'm sure he's dealt with a lot of adversity, especially being in that industry, even before he even got in the industry. Because, he's a brother from the streets. So he already knew what adversity was about before he even got into the industry. So, and it's fortunate that he was able to do that, because a lot of young artists wasn't able to have that shield, coming into the industry. Some had to find out the hard way. Some made it through it. Some was traumatized from it. And that's sad, because as I like to say, I don't like to see people do bad, whether it's my family, brother, sister, Again, those of us that are generals out here, that's how a lot of us got to a stable place. We fought through adversity. So salute to T.I. and many other artists out there that still standing today and made it through and fought through adversity and knew in their heart of hearts that we have a soul for a reason. So that's why that great divine protects T.I., because he's done good things in his life. He does care, and the brother got skills. He's a great artist, and he's a good comedian. It takes learning. I think it was a little rough for him at the beginning, but what isn't? Everything we're pursuing is going to be somewhat of a challenge. So, and he fought through everybody, the backlash, everybody, why he doing comedy and all that. He fought through all that shit. The brother got a heart of steel, real talk. In this life, we have to have a heart of steel, but not where it's cold, or you just got to shield yourself away from discouragement. And that's something I noticed in T.I. he's been able to do. And I think if Tupac was alive, he definitely, Tupac and T.I., if Tupac was alive, they definitely would have collabed. I can guarantee it. Tupac would have loved T.I. if he was alive. Many other artists too, because Tupac had that intuition. He knew who was real and who wasn't. Real talk. So, but again, salute to him and many other artists out there, because you got a lot of artists sometimes that do positive things that we just don't hear about, you know. And I actually got something on Lil Wayne. Lil Wayne, he does and Lil Wayne is educated too, very smart. You know, things about him, you know. And it's another thing I found out about, maybe not all artists, but some artists don't drink, don't smoke. Real talk. Even when they talk about it in their music, which they shouldn't, but you'd be surprised. A lot of these artists don't drink or anything, you know. But as I heard Kevin Hart say recently, I was listening to it was really heartfelt. Some Kevin Hart said about the comedians beefing and stuff like that. And I love what Kevin Hart said. He said that all the beefs that maybe, you know, a little friction maybe he had with Mike Epps and Cat Williams and all that stuff, you know, stuff we've heard throughout the years in the media. Kevin Hart said, you know, we've gotten older now. You know, we've gotten better at communicating, you know, and dealing with the little different issues. And he said, cut out the middleman. He said a phone call can really help, you know. A phone call can really do a lot of help. And that's what my son and Lord Lamont and I was saying. We have to discuss things and take care of things off of the media, because the body and the mind is a fickle thing. You know, things can hide in our subconscious. So I'm proud of Kevin Hart for having that mindset. You know, sometimes we make mistakes, but we can learn from them and do better. And that's what he was saying. He said, you know, we've gotten older now. We've gotten better at communication and learning how to work together. You know, he said it's enough screen for everybody. And I love that about him. So I just hope, you know, I just made that brother keep it up, you know, keep that positive attitude, you know, because I know it's not easy in the industry. Real talk. I've never been in the industry or nothing, but I can imagine the challenges that a lot of artists and comedians and have to go through. Real talk. So, but of course, we all have to be accountable. But at the same time, we all know how that industry can be a very powerful illusion, you know. And rest in peace and in power to those who came through the industry and brought us a lot of music and joy and fun. And, you know, may they rest in peace and in power. But their soul will live on through us. So salute to T.I. and Kevin Hart, you know. And those are the things we will remember. Let's leave a righteous impact, brothers and sisters. Let's ponder the things we want to leave behind. You know, that's what we need to think about. But I want to get to some other artists that's no longer with us, but their spirit is. I want to speak on the banner here for a minute. And the thumbnail is the back of my house, because as I said in the past, I got two balconies. I got a small one and I got a big one. The thumbnail is the back of the house, and it was snowing outside. I mean, I like nature. Like I said, you always see me post nature on the banner. And then I like the winter time. I like when it first snows. I think it looks beautiful with all the white snow and all that. And then on the banner is my front porch, my front balcony. And I haven't done it in a while, but you know, the balcony is a nice place to go stand out and think and look. So this is my way of, you know, letting those who view and listening, my spell breakers, brothers and sisters, generals, to join me on my balcony here and just bask in the solitude divine gift. You know what I'm saying? The divine gift of solitude. So this is an area of solitude where I think sometimes it's wonderful, and just look out into the neighborhood and up into the sky and just out into the world, and just being thankful we are alive, you know, and realize we have a soul for a reason, and share that beautiful soul with others. You know, it's wonderful. It's beautiful, because I know it sounds cliche and I keep saying it. You know, we all hear this, but man, when we put out beautiful things come back, you know? So like I said, that thing, T.I., you know, one beautiful gesture, especially saving somebody's life. I mean, I think divine will protect us. We save somebody's life. That's protection, real talk. All right, that's automatic divine protection. All right, now I got some other artists I want to speak on, and of course we're gonna get to a hip hop break. I got 4 spellbreaker statements, as I said, and cling to that soul, brothers and sisters. You know, be solid like steel, but treat it like gold. Real talk. I am so serious. Yep, we get up in a level of awareness. We've been on this planet long enough and experienced a little bit of adversity and see how it's better to be grateful, we will appreciate that soul and pay more attention to it. Because these people out here doing willy-nilly dumb shit on this social media in this world, man, and not paying attention to things that can come, those are the ones that are going to be either left behind or get caught off guard. So, that's why we got to, again, we have fun, joy, but got to be focused at the same time. Be present, but ready for the future. All right, now I'm going to speak on some artists. I always come across things that, lift one's spirits. All right, I want to give a rest in peace and empower and a salute to Michael Jackson, Biggie Smalls, Tupac, Nipsey Hussle, Young Dolph, and Pop Smoke. And it's like from old to young, from young to old. And rest in peace and empower. They all are no longer with us, which is, when I think about that, it's like, wow, man, I just can't believe it. That's what I'm saying, man. We have a soul for a reason, and don't take it for granted, because Young Dolph, and Pop Smoke, they were young. Nipsey Hussle was young. Tupac was young. They all were. Michael Jackson wasn't even that. Michael Jackson was only 50. He really wasn't that old. Neither was Biggie Smalls. And we never know what Biggie Smalls and Tupac would have transformed into. We never know what had happened. Those brothers might have linked together, but because of the media and people and some fans, because fans, they have to play the part too, and drawing the wedge and that West Coast, East Coast shit. And the way the media was and the world was, those brothers never did get a chance to kind of reconcile. Because I think if they were still alive and not mixed up in the madness, which Tupac was trying to show people what was happening, but it's just unfortunate that I wouldn't say he was too far gone, but it was just the industry is just, we all know how the industry go. But I think if that wouldn't have happened to those brothers and they was able to live, I think things would have been reconciled later on, because it really was the media and the world that drew a wedge between Tupac and Biggie, because they were buddies, and just think if those brothers would have band together and they started doing positive things. Do you know the impact them brothers would have had on hip hop? And then come along Nipsey Hussle, you know what I'm saying? Then we got Young Dolph. And Pop Smoke. I mean, just think about it. The ripple effect. If those brothers would have, been able to, outmaneuver that, the unfortunate, adversity they went through. And it really would have been something. But their spirit will live on. And we got to think of that as a lesson, And think of the good things that Biggie and Tupac did. We know everything probably wasn't good, but let's focus on the positive things that they did try to do. Some parts of their life they did try to change. But I always reiterate what Pac said. It is so hard to be an angel when you're surrounded by devils. Pac was trying his best to tell us what was causing that East Coast, West Coast shit. But everybody turned it into a trend and everybody was picking sides. And that's exactly what the weakest that be wanted. And Tupac he tried so hard to prevent that from happening. And they had him convinced that Biggie, did this to Biggie didn't do nothing. Biggie was an innocent bystander. He just got caught in the middle of the fire, real talk. So, and that's sad. The brother didn't even get a chance to change. You know what I mean? Before them brothers could even get a chance to change, the fucking industry ruined them. So, kind of make me angry a little bit. But again, rest in peace and empower. Michael Jackson, and the same story with Michael Jackson. We know Michael Jackson's story. Again, rest in peace and empower. Michael Jackson. Biggie Smalls, Tupac, Nipsey Hussle, Young Dolph, and Pop Smoke. And Young Dolph was a man, a good father, a good family man. I don't know much about Pop Smoke. I have to look him up, but I know a little bit about Young Dolph. My son put me up on him, and I read a little bit about him. He was a good dad. He was a good family man, and he took care of his kids. And he even left that because I think they said he bought a lot of property, so his kids is good. Real talk. So he made sure his family was straight. Was straight before he left this planet. But he left way too early. As well as Pop Smoke. I'm gonna have to look him up though, real talk. They left this planet. It's just, man. It's just amazing the things they may have done, that we'll never be able to see. As well as Nipsey Hussle put it. We all know. And Nipsey Hussle was smart. He was another brother that read a lot of books. I did a little research on him. He was intelligent. That's why he was so smart. He was always reading books 24/7. Yep, and who else? There was somebody else that I think I heard that read books. I know they said T.I. used to read books for fun. I think Ja Rule read a lot. Say he used to reads a lot of books, and that really plays a part in our lyrics. I think that's good advice we can give to the youth, to the young artists. You know, if you want to elevate your lyrics and you want substance in there, substance, excuse me, in your lyrics, I think reading plays a very important part. You know, reading about knowledge and about business, stuff like that, and incorporate it into your lyrics, you know, and that's wonderful. So T.I. is not just acting intelligent, he really is. And there's a lot of artists just like him, you know, real talk. So salute to all those I named, those that no longer with us, may they rest in peace and in power. And that's all artists, you know, whether music or otherwise, you know, that's no longer with us. So just wanted to bring that up. I'm always honoring thy ancestors, far and near, because again, we're all going to be ancestors one day. So we got to appreciate those who fought so very hard to get us where we are, you know, and stay strong and, you know, and know that we have a soul for a reason, and be thankful. If we do have pockets of solitude, we have chances to think, because we can deflect things and, you know, and keep us from jumping off impulses, you know, because I love to say impulses, as we see in this world, online, the media, etc., toxic impulses are out of control, brothers and sisters. So if you're not caught up in toxic impulses and you're observing, you're on the outside of this matrix, pat yourself on the back, because it can be a challenging space to get to. But if you are there and you're vigilant, be thankful. Well, great divine thanks you. You know, man, it's just wonderful, and it's not no, you know, cosmic thing. Anyone can have a divine ability and no power. Not some people. Anyone can have it. Just a matter of tapping into it. You know, above and beyond this punk ass flesh. I was just speaking on recent podcast. But let's get to this hip hop break, and we're gonna get to these 4 spellbreaker statements. And I do have some information on Lil Wayne. And I got one more brother I want to speak on that's no longer with us. That was a very powerful brother. And I'll get to that. And some information on Lil Wayne and his connection. Lil Wayne has a very beautiful connection with his daughter. I think that's awesome. And I'm gonna speak on that when I come back. And again, another brother that's no longer with us that was powerful. And so let's get to this hip hop break and 4 spellbreaker statements. And I got a summary on having a divine fortress and let nothing penetrate. That's one thing, to get to a place where we're locked in that divine zone. But we got to keep studying and maintaining and keep that fortress up, because new level, new devil, so to speak. So always got to stay on point, on guard, like a general, you know, while we're having fun and joy. You know, we laugh at that enemy, you know, especially the one within. Always conquer that enemy within. That's where the battle begins, folks. As I say, the hardest wars we'll ever fight is in that psyche. We learn this on this journey. All right, now let's see. I want to get to these songs. Let me see. Get to it. Okay. You know, sometimes the computer likes to act retarded. But let me see. All right. And the first song is Gotta Be True. And I may have played these before, but it's been a while. And sometimes they either reminders or for those who may not have heard it. All right. Hold on. All right. The first song is Gotta Be True. You know, gotta be true to oneself. Deep, deep within that gut, you know, to the belly, to the bottom of the barrel, till we hear thong. Get underneath all the crap one has developed in our subconscious over the years. Once we get underneath that, then we can breathe, you know, and get to that deep pit of our soul. We got it for a reason, folks. You know, it ain't just nothing that great divine. You know what? I'm just going to give everybody a soul and that's it. No, the soul is treated like gold, you know, treated like, I don't know, just it's the closest thing. Is more important, because the soul is like the psyche. So that's the center. The center of our world is our soul, real talk. So we better have a solid soul and let nothing penetrate it, like a divine fortress. All right. And know that solitude is a beautiful, precious gift. Don't take it for granted, because that's when we learn and grow. All right, we're back after this. It's got to be true. Brother, sister, family. Spellbreaker. Be right back.
Brothers and sisters, when we be true, that great divine will take us right on through. Salute! Gotta be true. Don't care what we gotta do. I don't want us to lose. Brothers and sisters, gotta be true. Don't care what we gotta do. I don't want us to lose. Brothers and sisters, gotta be true. Don't care what we gotta do. Brothers and sisters, always be ready. Keep your life steady and be above anything that's fucking petty. Spirit so right, don't let it get heavy. Divine mind shine, yours and mine. As strong as fuck to the end of time. When your life's smooth, you don't have to grind. So no damn crying and stay on point and we'll be fine, fine, fine. Gotta be true. Don't care what we gotta do. I don't want us to lose. Brothers and sisters, gotta be true, true. Life can be sweet when there is no deceit. A spirit so strong there will be no defeat. And God within, embedded so deep. And while I write rhymes, I continue to teach. Liberate your mind and set you free. And be a fucking beast, chill righteously. I got no time to be fucking weak. Because there's people lost out here in these streets. I gotta be true. Don't care what we gotta do. I don't want us to lose. Brothers and sisters, gotta be true. Don't care what we gotta do. I don't want us to lose or be confused. Don't you be no fool. Brothers and sisters, gotta be true. Don't care what we gotta do. I don't want us to lose. Brothers and sisters, gotta be true, true, true. Real talk, be the best of ourselves. Salute. Gotta be true. Don't want us to lose.
Real talk. I don't want us to lose. Gotta have that kind of spirit. Like I always say, a selfless spirit, you know. And that's the secret to the secret connection to that great divine. Not what we do online. That's what we got in our mind. Y'all know I be rhyming. Yeah, man, it's like I see it coming. It just flows. You know, that's from years of practice. Like I said, I've been messing with music since the early 90s, a little bit before. You know, been messing with it for a while. So when we stay at something, especially when it's a righteous passion and it's not to, you know, manipulate or nothing, you get good at it. Practice makes perfect, you know, perfect intentions at least. And it just shows in your craft or art or whatever you like to do, you know. Anything that's not superficial, something real, deep within that divine. So, and I want to give a salute to the righteous content creators, because I've been inspired by many, brother and sister, because I know it's a lot of content creators out there. But, you know, once we have that acute awareness, we'll know who the real generals are. You know, we'll be in the righteous circles. We got to have our head, mind, body, and soul in the right place. Again, we'll know who the real generals are, and that's family, brothers and sisters in the world, online. So I just want to give a salute to the real, emphasis on real content creators, you know, because again, I've been inspired by many. So stay on task, stay on course, and stay on that journey that great divine has many of us on that are paying attention. All right, next song is One with that divine, and I had played this in the past, but it's kind of a reminder again for those who may not have heard it, but gotta be true, you know. So, but be one with that divine, mind, body, and soul. Be back after this.
Brothers and sisters, never get confused in life. Always be one with that divine, and I promise we'll be fine. Keep that power within, and we'll always win. Be one with that divine. Yeah. Can't be stopped, so divine. This my body and my mind, living in the world my creator designed. Like I said, we'll be fine. Negative shit don't intertwine. Feel the vibration all through our spine. Be a king and a queen all the time, one of a kind. Fuck the rain, see the sunshine. Watch us grow while we climb. As I speak, as I rhyme, positive vibes in every line. Stick to the truth, don't be lying. Good energy, keep it flying. There's a God, no denying. Keep your head up, don't be crying. One with that divine. Be one of a kind. Brothers and sisters, be one with that divine. And we will be fine. EBX. Keep it going, keep it flowing. Some things in this life gotta let it go. Stay up on the square, on your toes, and keep looking up, and you know it. You will see that you is a chosen. Keep your family in your heart. Make us your good things that make us go far. Don't care about fame, no being, no star. Be true to oneself and everybody else. And every now and then, lift a little help. Stay real strong. Yeah, my bros, my sisters too. We gonna make it through. I want you to be happy and never have the blues. We win in this life, never be no fool.
Never be no fool.
Be one with that divine. Be one of a kind. Brothers and sisters, be one with that divine. Be one, we'll be fine. Be one of a kind. Be one with that divine. Be one with that brothers and sisters, salute.
Real talk. Be one with that divine. Yeah. Be one of a kind. And don't lose your mind. Y'all know I love hip hop. All right, let's get back into it, brothers and sisters. All right, gotta mess with the old computer. All right, I gotta get the mojo going. Of course, computer gonna act crazy. Y'all know how it go. The computer always act crazy. Hold on for a minute. No. All right, hold that thought. All right, back to the mojo. All right, leaders and teachers with a student spirit. Let's get back into some positive thoughts. And again, salute to all the great content creators out there, because I know I talk about streamers and some celebs and all that, but I try to focus on the ones that really have been through the adversity and fought through it. But may we all, those who, wherever part of the world we're in, may we find peace wherever we are right now. Salute. All right, now let's get to, I want to speak on Lil Wayne and the beautiful connection he has with his daughter. Let's go. Lil Wayne's daughter, Regina, I think that's how you say her name, Reginae, Regina, says she knows no man is too busy to text or call because her dad always responds. And that's beautiful. Keep that connection. He can protect her, and that's teaching her something about men. And it lets you know she's aware. So that's beautiful. And we know Lil Wayne, we know how I know Lil Wayne, and he's had his little issues with stuff, but when he's himself and away from distractions, Lil Wayne has a very brilliant, unique mind. And like I said, he is intelligent. He's been to college and all that. I remember researching that. So the brother is intelligent. Just a lot of other things. They kind of, sometimes it takes us away from our true self sometimes. But at the root, Lil Wayne is very smart. He really is, just by how he spits his lyrics, But I can see that he passed that down to his daughter. And from the statement, she's aware of how some of these YNs are, that they call them, or young brothers. So that's beautiful. That means her head is headed in the right direction. So salute to Lil Wayne and his daughter, because I got daughters. So, and I hope he has that same connection with his, I don't know if he have any sons. I haven't done any research, but salute to him and his family. And May that great divine protect him. And that's wonderful that she acknowledged her dad like that. So may that great divine, it's beautiful. And all the dads and the daughters out there that are connected, because it is important, just like the son, that's important too. But it's just something about the dad and the daughter connection. It's a beautiful thing. It really is. All right. So salute to that and all the dads and the daughters out there. All right. Next on the list, rest in peace and empower and a happy birthday to Chadwick Boseman, who would have been 49 today. So it says happy heavenly birthday to Chadwick Boseman. Would have been 49. Rest in peace and empower, brother. And I got him on one's channel. I actually got him on a thumbnail. Actually, that song I just played, one with that divine, that song on my channel, I got his picture on the banner and thumbnail when he's sitting on that throne. It just looks so dope, sitting on that throne. Black Panther, so to me, my opinion, Black Panther is not the same without him. He just had a spirit about him. I'm sorry, the other brother that's on there, everybody, I don't know, just can't compare to him. He's different. He was a jewel. He was chosen. Real talk. Chadwick was chosen. Real talk. He was a chosen brother, and he was very educated. He was intelligent. So rest in peace and in power, Chadwick. And, I'm always honoring thy ancestors, and I do that because we have a soul for a reason. We can still connect to the righteous souls that are still among us today, historians that fought, and some of them, again, like those brothers I read a little while ago, and sisters too, sisters that were, our black sisters that may have been among us that are not with us. May they rest in peace and in power, so man, some was taken away too early, like those brothers I mentioned. It's when you think about it, it's kind of sad, but we think of the great things they brought, the impact, the truth that a lot of them brought, to this world. All right, let's get to a summary I got on maintaining a divine fortress, brothers and sisters, because it's one thing to get to a stable place, but it's another thing to maintain it. Because, as I like to say, never get to a place where we think we're done or we think we know everything. Always got to stay on guard. Paranoia is a thing of the past. No, it's about being aware. Real talk, all day long. So it's about staying on point, and especially if we got children, family, significant other. So even if we're not around family, still keep good thoughts in one's soul. We got a soul for a reason. So treat it like gold, brothers and sisters. Treat it like we do, like some of us do our money. Treat our soul like that. Our soul is way more important than materialistic things or money, because nothing can work without a soul. If you don't got a soul, what are you? Think about it. You got to have a soul. That's why I say AI is soulless. The only AI we need to be going by is ancestral intelligence. Excuse me. Salute again, Professor Griff. That's where I got that from, which is a very intelligent brother. AI ain't got shit on Professor Griff, and a lot of brothers and sisters out here, AI ain't got shit on. Real talk. Nothing is more powerful and wonderful and beautiful than a righteous human spirit through a brother or a sister, younger or older, or even family member. Wherever the lights are that are aware and I don't know bullshit. All right, let's get to it. Leaders and teachers with a student spirit. Let's break down having a divine fortress, a metaphorical concept from particularly representing a place of ultimate spiritual security and protection found in that great divine. It signifies that great divine as a strong and unbreakable defender against all spiritual and physical threats or enemies, a refuge for our soul in times of trouble, and a stronghold that provides peace or wholeness. We will go with wholeness. I heard that recently. That's not mine. It's another brother. And strength, core aspects of that great divine fortress, spiritual security. And that's, we talking about deep within, the primary meaning is spiritual protection, where great divine acts as a shield against enemies and adversity, especially deep within. Ultimate refuge. It is a sanctuary one turns to in times of vulnerability and fear, finding stability and safety within one's divine soul. Because again, we're stable in our soul. Nothing on the outside can fuck with us. You know, we can see everything. You know, we can see things before they even get to us. We can get to that space, but it takes studying, learning, reading. You know, like I said about T.I., Nipsey Hussle. You know, that's why they were so intelligent and vigilant, because they read. You know, they didn't just jump in this shit. You know, so that's wonderful to be able to do that. But not everybody's in that learning space. You're trapped in this little petty body, petty human body. You won't learn nothing in pettiness. All right, so just want to give that advice. All right, let me see. One more summary, and we're going to get to these spell breaker statements. Symbol of strength. Yep, that's what a divine fortress represents. A symbol of unstoppable, unbreakable, unpenetrable strength. It represents great divine's unwavering power and ability to withstand any attack, providing a steadfast defense for knowers, not just believe. We have to know. I heard a great brother say, another brother, it's not mine, know thyself. It was a time I didn't even say that. That's, man, the things we learn. All right. Internal, again, I've been inspired by many, you know, okay. Internal fortification. The concept also extends to an internal state of being where knowing thyself fortifies the mind and soul against life's hardships. Divine coverage. It implies being covered and shielded by a divine presence where external attacks cannot harm the inner self. Real talk. Can't harm the inner self when one got that divine fortress up. Mind, body, and soul. All right. Leaders and teachers with a student spirit. Let's get to these spellbreaker statements. Spellbreaker statement number 1. Treat our soul like it's air. You know, treat our soul like it's air. Can't breathe without it. You know, it's utterly impossible. You know, without a soul, we are not tapped into our soul. We're not disciplined. You know, we know how things can go. So if you want to be toxic and living a toxic life into your graceful years, I feel sorry for you. All right. Spellbreaker statement number 2. Don't let our mind wander in the wrong direction. That, in other words, don't ponder on things too much, like these ads and things we see on TV and social media, etc., etc. You know, we have to really filter through things we see, hear, and feel. I always say those 7 senses: mind, body, and soul, see, hear, and feel, and the psyche. Those 7 senses are very, very important. You know, our psyche is like traffic. You know, filter what goes in, what goes out. I spoke on that before. It's very, very important. We balance the things we see, hear, and feel. Okay. That spellbreaker statement number 2. Don't let our mind wander in the wrong direction. Don't stay on, especially if it's negative. And we can feel it in our gut. You know, first instinct is usually the correct. All right. Spellbreaker statement number 3. One's divine fortress can't and won't be invaded when we stay on it and we stay away from toxic things that we know is not right. You know, whether it's through a person or it's a place, you know, stay as vigilant as possible. All right. Divine fortress can't and won't be invaded. You know, we get locked into that zone, that divine zone. And I don't know. It's just, all I know, when one is positive, I don't know, and we make right choices, it's like Mama Nature and Great Divine just get in alignment with us and just protects us from things. That can be an opinion or a theory, but those who are like connected to their divine soul, we have experienced some divine things we can't explain. So that's what I'm saying. There's something out there that protects us when we're right. Now, again, that could be an opinion or theory, but it's not just me that have experienced divine things, I'm sure. You know, something is out there. So protect that divine fortress at all costs. Let nothing invade it. All right. Last but not least, spellbreaker statement number 4. Practice powerful discipline, mind, body, and soul. Stay on course and maintain. We finally got into a place of wholeness, you know, deep within. Maintain that, you know, stay on course, maintain the momentum, you know, and keep it going, keep growing, keep elevating, you know, and there's more to come, you know. Great Divine is just getting started with us. Those of us that have fought through adversity, and some at a level of awareness or been on this planet for a while. Great Divine and Mama Nature just getting started. The things we have accomplished and come through and helped others and connected with others and put that fire in them and helped them, just getting started, brothers and sisters. We haven't even touched the tip of the iceberg of the power we can tap into. Some of us have really tapped into some amazing things, but it's not even the surface, brothers and sisters, because as I love to reiterate, Mama Nature and that Great Divine is the most powerful forces we will ever experience. So it's more to come, real talk. So that's why we have to stay vigilant, because in this human body, when we're trapped in it, we won't be nowhere near aware of things that may come. But when we're connected to that divine force and we're seekers, like all my generals out there, one spell breakers, brothers and sisters, I have been inspired from, as well as family. It's more to come, brothers and sisters. So remember, we have a soul for a reason, and cling to that soul. Let nothing penetrate it or break it. We fought too hard to some of us to get where we are. So let nothing in this life put our divine fire out. I mean that. So thank those for coming in to another EBX, the Lord Lamont show. Thus, EBX discussion. And Lord Lamont and I, we should be having another discussion this weekend. I'm not going to say definite, but we should, because it is snowing right now, as you can see on the banner. And that's also, but yeah, this weekend, either Friday or Saturday. So, but sometime soon. So, salute to Lord Lamont, is doing well. Salute them again to my children and family, biological and divine, because man, solitude is a great divine gift. So that leads back to one's banner. That was a solitude moment. I like to capture those moments when I have those deep thoughts, and sometimes I do stand out on the balcony. So I thought I'd welcome those in to stand out on the balcony. Just imagine standing out there thinking. And the snow is the winter is a representation of one can make it through any storm. Because I remember I used to work out in the snow, and I talked about how I've been locked up. I've been in jail before, the old penitentiary area. But it was actually one of the most healthiest times of my life. But that was back in the early 90s. So prison was a little different back then, and it was just a little minimum prison. It wasn't maximum, because it was a stupid crime. It was a little petty theft crime. It was just something dumb back in my dumb days. But I remember I used to work out in the snow. And I remember reading in this magazine, it was good for your muscles to work out when it's cold. I can't remember what. And because I used to work out and I really got into it. I always wanted to be kind of a swole brother. I didn't get real big, but I did gain a little, a little muscle mass. But I remember working out in the snow, and it reminded me of that. That's why I was thinking about that when I was doing this, what's on the banner right here, how, we can make it through any storm, even the snow, you know what I'm saying? And my son, Lord Lamont, is proof of that. He fought through the elements and everything up here in the Milltown. Strong brother. Lord Lamont is my hero. Real talk. My son is my hero. I know we always looking at, the entertainers and celebrities. Shoot, I got members of my family. That's my hero. My grandparents, they're my hero. Real talk, because if it wasn't for our parents and our grandparents, we wouldn't be standing here today. Wouldn't be no chosen ones. You know what I'm saying? So sometimes our kids can be our hero. Real talk. My son Ethan, and so on and so forth. You know what I mean? So that's what always remind me when I see this snow on the banners. It reminds me when I used to work out in the cold, and the cold moments in our life, and we thought things were impossible, but we persevered and we made it through. So that's what the cold, hard snow reminds me of brothers and sisters that didn't let the world make them cold, and just persevered and helped others along the way, because that always helps when one can share that fire along the way. And that's what let us know that we have a soul for a reason. Great divine Mama Nature gave us this soul for a reason, not just to treat it like it's nothing. So I feel sorry for people who don't think about their soul, the things they do and their behaviors. You're making your soul cry, when you treat others bad, when you have wrong intentions, and because you can't control someone and all that. I feel sorry. People who like to control others, I really feel sorry for them. They're going to be stuck in that prison in their body, so because people who like to control and manipulate, they're not being grateful, so that's a whole nother story, whole nother podcast. But we all have been through our levels, and be thankful we had a righteous level in our life, because the levels never stop, as our philosophers say. Only time the levels run out is when we transition, because we never will know everything, but at least we know enough to stay on this journey that great divine has called many of us to be on. And so keep on having that solitude when we can. Know it's a gift, and thank those for coming in. Spell breakers, stay with it. And Lord Lamont and I are going to salute you, divine warriors, on to your divine life. So look for a future discussion with me and Lord Lamont. As I said, it's my hero, and be thankful of the warriors that great divine bring along our path, whether it's brother and sister, family in the world, online. So stay great out there, stay strong, stay vigilant, and solitude is a gift. Quiet moments is a gift. It's the time to assess and reset and come out on fire. Come out swinging at the devil. Devil don't stand a chance against a divine warrior. So remember, brothers and sisters, cherish our soul. Great divine gave it to us for a reason. Salute. Has been brought to you by Mama Nature and that great divine.